Text, Office of Housing Counseling, Promoting Community, Driving Change, 2024 Community Conference. OHC Conference Kickoff, Tuesday, September 17th, 11 o'clock to 11:30 a.m. EDT. In a collage of photos, various people smile and talk. The speaker, Shauna Larumari, ICF, appears in a picture-in-picture in the upper right corner.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Shauna Larumari, and I'm here to welcome you to the Office of Housing Counseling's 2024 Community Conference, Promoting Community, Driving Change. We are so excited that you are here and joining us, and we hope that you enjoy the next couple of days that you have with us.
Text, David Berenbaum, Deputy Assistant Secretary, Office of Housing Counseling, OHC, U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
David Berenbaum, but I'm so pleased to introduce you to this national audience and turn it over to you as the Deputy Assistant Secretary for HUD's Office of Housing Counseling and our leader, our mentor, and for all of us, a colleague in this industry. You come with 30 years of experience, and you also work across many different parts of HUD, breaking down barriers and help promoting this program to everyone. Housing counseling is very, very important to you, and I can't wait for others who may not be familiar with you to get to know you. So please join me, David Berenbaum.
Shauna, thank you, and good morning, everyone, and welcome one and all to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, Office of Housing Counseling 2024, Promoting Community, Driving Change National Conference. We are delighted that you have joined, believe it or not, over 2,000 of your colleagues who have registered for this year's event for what will be a very interactive and informative program, which will feature sessions on a host of hot issues. Let's run down some of the topics we're going to be talking about.
In split screen, David Berenbaum appears on the left, and the ASL English interpreter, Rooney, appears on the right.
How counselors can play a critical role in advancing racial equity in housing. Recommended best practices to educate consumers on the recent National Association of Realtor Broker Commission settlement. Exciting developments regarding the Make Home the Goal National Awareness Day. Stay tuned, that's a session later today. Discussions focused on taking housing counseling to the next level, a personal priority of yours truly. Housing counseling agencies as social enterprises, really innovators and driving new programs that help our target populations. New model industry standards and best practices, research, policy, and marketplace trends, how we can elevate the profession, and enhancing operational efficiencies and expanding the public and private sector impact of our work. So everyone get ready for some exciting announcements. There is so much to cover over the next few days, from Housing Counseling Day activities, by the way, that's September 26th, to updates on rulemaking. It has been a very productive year for all of us. You know our Office of Housing Counseling priorities. They are featured in Housing Counseling Today regularly when you receive it. They're in our regular news and information emails, and they include so many different issues, including rolling out and socializing the new HUD Housing Counseling Handbook. I may add a sneak preview into an announcement that's coming soon to be available in 4 additional languages, including Spanish, traditional Chinese, Korean, and Vietnamese. Hosting our regional meetings across the nations, all designed to help you augment your programs and realize your mission in the regions that you serve. Sneak peek again to what's coming next year. Next year, we're looking forward to having convenings, regional meetings in Detroit, in Baltimore, and in Miami. We're looking forward to realizing and really seeing the full potential of our HBCU and minority serving institution partnerships grow. To date, we have partnered with over 60 institutions, and I applaud the great work by all of our intermediaries and HFAs who are participating in the program. Many of you know of my personal commitment over the years in the housing counseling industry to take private and public sector pre- and post-purchase housing counseling to scale. And we have a great opportunity to do that through the Homeownership Initiative Grant Program. which will create a market rate for housing counseling services and feature a wonderful impact report being done in cooperation with HUD's Office of Policy Development and Research. Good luck to all of the grantees in launching the program. HUD is moving right along in negotiating the negotiated fixed rate with our agencies, and we really look forward to seeing the thousands of new homeowners and then analyzing the impact of our work so that we all can take homeownership counseling to scale across the country. Of course, we've been working on modernizing and improving the delivery of housing counseling services, simplifying and streamlining how you do business with us. And as well, we're very focused, as you know, on housing equity and bridging the homeownership gap. And part of that has been our role in working within HUD and externally on the Pave Fair Appraisal Evaluation Initiative. We'll continue to provide technical assistance, advice, and ensure that all of our programs operate with integrity through our office's important role with regard to oversight and accountability, as well as outreach and capacity building. We are here to serve and support you in all your activities, and you know you always can call upon our talented staff to engage with you and work through issues that you may be facing. We want to streamline the work we're doing, and we want to continue to build the number of consumers that we reach every year. And along with that, we're going to continue to promote cultural sensitivity and language access in the delivery of all of our services, and continue to build our role and try new approaches to ensure that after a disaster, our counseling agencies are there as first responders, ensuring the delivery of services with local response, FEMA, and others. Aging in place and the importance of the reverse mortgage housing counseling program continues to grow, and we're looking forward to certifying more, literally hundreds more counselors in that space. Baby boomers are retiring, and we need to prepare to help them age in place in the future. The Office of Housing Counseling, Let's Make the Home the Goal awareness campaign has really launched successfully. Later today, you'll hear an update on where we are. Again, we invite everyone to use our counseling materials, the awareness campaign, ad slicks, social media. I want to see the logo, you're a HUD-approved housing counseling organization, on all of your websites and business cards and collateral. We are branding housing counseling in a way. Stay tuned for an important announcement later today about the continued growth of the program. We're also looking at implementing strategies and approaches to enhance housing counseling services in tribal communities. And we're moving forward now that the Housing Counseling Tribal Counselor Certification Rule is final and published, to implement that rule in the coming months. And we'll be engaging with all of our tribal stakeholders and all of the agencies that serve tribal communities to make sure that that approach, that whole initiative is successful. And again, we continue to expand the diverse markets that we serve across the nation. Everyone is familiar with our Housing Counseling Federal Advisory Committee meetings. They have met unprecedented 11 times over the past 3 years, including meetings in San Antonio, Texas, focusing in on the needs of the Latinx community, as well as in Little Tokyo in Los Angeles, focusing in on the needs of Asian Americans, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander groups. All of these meetings have been empowering to our staff and really influenced how we're approaching programs as we approach future grant cycles, and also focus in on our own strategic plan at HUD to serve every community. And as well, we're currently preparing to launch a new pathway to homeownership demonstration to educate tenants in HUD's own programs to the availability of housing counseling, but also many of our programs, such as the Choice Voucher Program, FHA loans, and I'll add external programs, such as special purpose mortgage programs, and the over 1,000 down payment assistance programs across the country. Many of our own consumers and HUD programs are ready for homeownership, and we're looking forward to outreaching to them and connecting those tenants to you, our housing counseling partners. And as well, we've made a real focused effort to expand housing counseling services to individuals and families who are unsheltered, who are unhoused, and who may be at risk of being at homelessness. This is an important initiative because, unfortunately, despite all of our best efforts, as a general rule, many consumers are struggling with housing affordability. And in particular, families with children, old Americans represent a disproportionate number of the unsheltered in our nation at this time. I want to thank all of our housing counseling organizations who are also participating in the Continuum of Care program or other initiatives, or in fact, partnering with organizations in that space. There's a lot of good work that we can do to work with consumers who are at risk or who are experiencing homelessness at this time. As well, we're going to be socialized something really exciting at HUD. We are very focused on applying human-centered design in our program, and our office is going to be one of the first at HUD to launch a customer satisfaction survey, or what's called a CX tool, later this fall. We plan on socializing what we're doing through a number of webinars with all of our partners in the housing counseling space. But essentially, we're going to invite all of the consumers who have benefited from housing counseling to share their thoughts, which we expect to be very positive with us. And in turn, we can share them with you and all of our stakeholders and others to really continue to demonstrate the value and the appreciation for the services that you delivered. Many of you also watched last week's meeting in Norfolk, Virginia, where the focus of the meeting was principally on the needs of members of the armed forces, their families, and veterans. It was a very powerful meeting. And in fact, there were a number of recommendations made by not-for-profit and service groups that serve those interest organizations and populations, as well as some of the programs that we visited in the area. We're going to be looking at that, and we hope to work with all of you to continue to meet the needs of the members of the armed forces, veterans, and their families moving forward. And to everyone viewing who is a member of the armed forces, thank you for your service. It is greatly appreciated, and we understand very clearly the needs of housing counseling to help you ensure sustainable and affordable housing while you serve as well as afterwards. And then as well, of course, I mentioned earlier the recent Real Estate Commission settlement. The Housing Counseling Federal Advisory Committee has made recommendations that we'll be conducting quite a bit of outreach to implement on. We're going to continue to engage with the major real estate trade associations. And of course, we want to ensure that housing counselors play a significant role in educating purchasers to their options to ensure that housing remains affordable to them. And of course, there's a balancing going on here between what was the goal of the plaintiffs in the case, which was to lower the costs of homeownership and to ensure more transparency, but then also a concern that some of the fees may be shifted to purchasers, and particularly for low to moderate income consumers, that could be very problematic and potentially lock them out of homeownership. So this is an issue that we're looking at very closely at HUD, as well as examining the fair housing implications of these developments as well. But our goal will be to implement the 7 recommendations made by the Housing Counseling Federal Advisory Committee. Stay tuned for more information on that, and you can view the entire discussion at the committee meeting and all the recommendations on the HUD Exchange when it is shortly posted. I also want to thank the current members of the Housing Counseling Federal Advisory Committee. Their counsel, their service, their advice over the past 3 years has been critical to the Office of Housing Counseling. They have been really discussing critical issues of the day, many of which I've already covered as some of our priorities, and their input was invaluable. And as we move forward, I think the advisory committee is very well grounded for all of its future activities, both virtual as well as at destinations that serve to educate and inform our deliberations. I also want to thank everyone who submitted an application to serve on the committee. They are on active review at this time, and it is our hope to make an announcement next month as who will be the new slate or the next slate of members of the committee. I am so impressed by the quality and caliber of everyone, close to 100 people who have applied to sit in the only 11 open seats, and I want to thank everyone for your interest. Our goal is to create the best committee possible, to have the most compelling discussions and good insights and recommendations as we move forward. Clearly, a very talented group of professionals has applied. But back to today and the coming few days, it's my hope and our whole team's hope that everyone will extensively engage and interact with each other, including our talented staff, all of our public and private sector presenters, experts, and participants, and that you will share resources with each other via the CVent boards that have been created for all of these critical discussions and panels. Essentially, as we're moving forward, I'm sure that all of you have thoughts and recommendations, and this is your opportunity to share them with our Office of Housing Counseling staff. Whether we're talking about our priorities, such as bridging the homeownership gap or sustainable, affordable housing, whether we're discussing model industry practices or building the capacity of all our organizations, we really are focused on the future of our profession. And as well, using our national awareness campaign to expand your role working nationwide in regions or locally across the country. And it's our hope that you'll be able to apply some of the state-of-the-art approaches to your best-in-class delivery of services through your own programs. As well, we'll be focusing on areas that you believe we should be providing continuing education in our forthcoming programming as we move forward in the coming year. So we're looking forward to the upcoming sessions, discussions, and excited that you are here with us today. And in particular, I have to admit, I've been looking at the ice-breaking board already. Thank you for sharing all of your favorite books and interests. Keep it going, everyone. It's a great tool, this event. And as we work together to ensure that every individual and family has a safe and stable place to call home, I'd like to express our appreciation at the Office of Housing Counseling to all the members of our HUD-approved Housing Counseling Network, to the over 4,400 HUD-certified housing counseling professionals nationwide, and wish you ongoing success and great impact in everything that you are doing. It's our hope that we'll move the nation forward to leverage the full impact of the housing counseling community. And I'm confident that this coming year, as we move forward, we're going to make a difference through all of our new initiatives, such as the HBCU MSI initiative, the new homeownership initiative, and all of the direct service initiatives that so many of you are currently implementing. For example, your work with special purpose mortgage programs, your creativity establishing distinct programs that complement counseling, whether it be a real estate or a lending initiative, whether you're building affordable housing. There are so many initiatives that are taking housing counseling to the next level and elevating, in fact, the impact and ultimately the funding base of all of you as our participating organizations. Working together, I know that we're up to the challenges that we face. And despite the challenges that we have faced over the past few years, our industry's accomplishments are significant. We are earning the respect of our real estate and housing finance peers and colleagues. And I believe that a strong foundation has been laid to take our profession to unprecedented service levels in conjunction with our public and private sector partners. As we find solutions to some of these challenges that we face, our office hopes to play an active role in working with you to address them head on, including some of the issues that have been raised at our regional conferences or at programs that I have attended where I'm at conferences or meetings with intermediaries or some of our regional agencies. So to follow up on that point, we're looking forward here at the Office of Housing Counseling to scheduling 2 colloquies on our own HUD Next Gen IT system, but also very significantly, some of the challenges that you are facing with client management systems, some of the impediments and challenges, such as the need for additional support from providers, ensuring that the systems are up to date and functioning, ensuring as well that they're cost effective for your organization, one of the major challenges. And as well, we hope to meet with the providers themselves to hear their concerns, but also share our expectations with, in fact, all of our over 30 CMS providers. This is a very significant issue for our industry, and we hope to work collaboratively with you to ensure that we have accurate reporting and that when we implement our next-gen system, we can take it to a real-time system with broader outcome information and, in fact, simplify how you apply, how you report, and how you submit final reports so that we can celebrate all of your good works as well. Other issues that have emerged that I hope we can speak about is, of course, new ideas and new approaches to certifying new members of the HUD certified professional staff team, how we can talk about better retention practices and share model practices, and as well the issue of compensation. While there isn't too much that HUD can do about that, because that is certainly subject to each agency's ability to fund, we do hope to work with the industry to establish what I think will be helpful goals and concepts to promote retention of our housing counseling team. Thousands of individuals, close to 10,000, have taken the HUD certification exam and passed it, but many have moved on to other employment opportunities. And part of the reason we acknowledge, of course, is more competitive salaries. So this is an issue that I hope we can address together and have some meaningful discussions and colloquy. And last, many organizations have felt that there's a need to better educate agency executives and board of directors. And that's an area that through some of our webinars and I think some of our outreach, we look forward to really engaging with all of our agencies to promote that form of engagement and education so that our leadership across all of our partners are really informed as to the benefits and opportunities of the work we do. So I also want to take a moment to step even more into the weeds to say to all of the housing counselors who have just become certified and who are attending this program for the very first time, congratulations. You have achieved a very significant milestone in your career, and it represents a moment in time where you're going to be helping consumers across the country to realize their goal of homeownership, to sustain their housing, to age in place, perhaps to respond to a national disaster of some kind. We are really doing very, very important work, and we look forward to supporting you in all of your endeavors as you move forward here at the Office of Housing Counseling. So as we move forward, thank you again, everyone, for joining us. I know that you are all committed to realizing our mission to obtain, sustain, and help consumers retain their housing and realizing a marketplace that's free from discrimination. So let's get started. Thanks, everyone, for joining.